Well, it's that time again for a double whammy with 2 Kaiju number 8 episodes. The season lets us know that there's a war on the way, with Kaiju number 9 on the loose and making all sorts of prototypes. It's about time for our heroes to man up or shut up. And then Reno comes in to test out his skills in controlling Kaiju number 6's power. But I know what's the real question on your mind. What did this week's and last week's episode do differently from their manga counterpart? Let's find out. Last week's Kaiju number 8 episode was titled Compatible User, and it adapted chapters 56 to 59. Well, most of 59. That's about 75 pages and a shit ton of panels to match. So let's start off with this episode and then we move on to the next. Kaiju number 8 starts off this episode by cutting out some of the manga, which I'm pretty fine with. You see, Hoshina didn't just randomly choose to visit Kaiju number 10. Actually, Kaiju number 10, when he awoke, he specifically asked for the sword guy, and then boom, Hoshina came to visit, saying hi to his old friend, and he got some info as well. I honestly thought that it would have been a good addition to the anime at first, but I guess they didn't want us humans to actually seem like we didn't have a choice in the matter. As opposed to the kaiju, they're running the show, they can say, hey, and summon a human, and right away we would jump up. Either way, we do get the confrontation of a lifetime and gave us some huge revelations. Seems Kaiju number 9 is indeed the big honcho, the big boss of this anime, and I'm all here for it. After we met up with Kaiju number 10, we head on back to Division 1 with Kikaru and Kafka. We actually skipped a few pages of manga chapter 57 of these guys, who I think are the research team for Division 1, saying that Hoshina's group would be heading into the Division 1 base, and they can tell that it's trouble. These same sentiments would have been said by the vice captain afterwards, so I can really understand why the anime skipped this all out, and these guys are really just extras talking anyways. We don't need them. Meh. But then when they finally clash, it's the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. Narumi's reactions are literal gold, and Hoshina knowing exactly where to poke him, let it hurt him. This is one of my fav scenes in the entire show. Let me know in the comments what was yours. Just like the other 2 entries on our differences from what the anime did from the manga, Kaiju number 8 continues with skipping the first couple pages of chapter 59 of the manga. You see, we actually see Kikaru's mom onlooking Kaiju number 6, and I know what you're thinking. Kyle, didn't we see this in the episode? We did indeed see it. However, there are a few notable differences. For one, this scene appears in the manga right after it was revealed that Ichikawa, or Reno, is the recruit that's most compatible for Kaiju number 6's weapons. But in the anime, we actually skip ahead to Jugo's discussion with who I assume to be his vice captain, about the potential of Ichikawa and how he's against it. And then in the manga, the scene was a little bit more than her just staring at Kaiju number 6. Instead, she was surrounded by her own squad and she uttered a few words of amazement. This week's Kaiju number 8 episode is titled Wall, and it adapted chapters 60 to 63. But it's one of those rare times when Kaiju number 8 only adapts a few pages for the last chapter that they adapted for this particular episode. 9 to be specific. Only 9 pages of chapter 63 were adapted for this episode. And based on the character they focused on, it's totally understandable why. That's about 72 pages with a whole lot of panels to match. This episode starts out with us learning more about Furuhashi. He's always been a genius and never really struggled until becoming an adult and working at fucking McDonald's. That shit will break you, my dude. These scenes were in the manga, however, they were right at the start of chapter 62. This would have been right around the time when Ichikawa killed his first Honju, but that didn't work out well for the story. So for this particular episode, shifting around some scenes allows us to focus more on Furuhashi and his struggles, trying to keep up with Ichikawa, and I absolutely love the feelings of inadequacy that pushes him to be a real bro. You know how in anime some dudes would become the villain and probably try to kill their rivals? But no, this dude is a true Kurobara, a true Josuke. He's here for the bros and proving that he can keep up and pull his own goddamn weight. This is his way of saying, I've got your back. I might be weak, but I love you just the same. The power of Fushi friendship. Okay, I may have been lying, well, rather understating what chapters were adapted for this episode. You see, some of chapter 57 bled into this episode. When Furuhashi was recalling his life, he also saw when Ichikawa fainted. In the manga, we got a look into what he was actually thinking. In the anime, we just got a look and he just walked off. Also, a small tidbit here, but the suits, mainly the mask faces, looks a little different from in the manga. A lot of these small changes, mainly to the aesthetics, have been made when it comes on to translating to the anime. And then finally, with the fight between Ichikawa and the giant kaiju, it was extended a bit for our enjoyment. Oh, and I also forgot that in the anime, when Furuhashi dodged the kaiju after being warned to look out from above, this wasn't in the manga. Instead, we got the classic, oh, I'm too distracted so I have to be saved by someone else trope. And it makes me think, should I really keep mentioning these extended fights? It's becoming a norm these days. Oh well, let's see what happens. Ichikawa is the freaking best, isn't he? Now I see what they mean when they say Kaiju number 6 would resonate well with him, and we can understand the flashback to the Kaiju in the snowy area. It was literally just Ice Godzilla, like in Godzilla vs. Kong. And Ichikawa with his icy cold abilities would definitely match this monstrosity. In the battle though, he's using the gear for the very first time and it's pretty badass. I just think that he maybe needs to chill out a little. Stop going so hard, you know? But with bros like Furuhashi, I don't see how he can ever go wrong. The power of friendship is super strong here. But I think this is the start to an amazing season, which I'll love. And to see these Kaiju weapons and Kaiju masters fighting all on the same page would be my next true wish. You know, everyone all on the battlefield fighting one huge Kaiju. Fabulous episode, fabulous season, and I can't wait to see more. Let me know what your favorite scene of this episode was. And yeah, leave a like and a subscribe on your way out. I've been your host, Kyle. Peace out, stay safe out there, V Nation. Bye.